Hello, and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and welcome back to another episode of Forza Horizon 3. Now, in this video, what we're going to be doing is mainly, we are going to be, well, I shouldn't say mainly, because there's only really one thing that we're doing in this video, and that is we are going to take this Koenigsegg Regera, lift the suspension, turn it into an off-roader, because that's a good idea, definitely. Sarcastically, and see actually how it does off-road. This is completely different than any build anybody has done with a Regera so far. The Regera is basically, so far, it's been one of the go-to top speed cars, and I personally think it's actually one of the coolest looking Koenigsegg's ever made. Now, I ran this series back in Forza Horizon 2, where we basically took supercars, sports cars, muscle cars, really anything and everything, and lifted it, took it off-road, and see how it would do. Because a lot of my subscribers, funny enough, even though I started from a drifting background, a lot of my subscribers are, a lot of you guys are off-road people. You guys are off-road people, and maybe that's because maybe some of my spin tires guys are watching my Forza videos and being like, how would this do if it was lifted and had some off-road tires? Now, again, that's not something you would really ever do with a Regera, but this is, you forget, this is the Tomcat channel. We do strange, crazy things here. So, anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little bit of a paint job on it, because there's not much we had to do with the tuning. I mean, really, the rally suspension kind of presets everything for us, and I just kind of looked around it, maybe messed with it just a little bit. I tweaked the front sway bar. I think that was about it. And other than that, pretty much left it alone and decided, hey, let's just see how it does, and let's save it and take it out. Now, before I did take it out, I kind of went to the designs and paints area and kind of did a weird, like, almost an off olive green. Like, I was originally going to try and go with, like, a tan color, but it didn't really work. Like, the options I was going to use didn't really work out for it, I should say. And I ended up going with this, like I said, like this off olive green that actually kind of looks cool on the Regera and gives it that, I was about to say gives it that off-road look / off-road feel, but at the same time, you don't really get that vibe from the Regera in the first place ever. So I think at the end of the day, is it a cool color? Yes. To me, it's a cool color. To me, it's a unique color. It's something I would have on, like, an off-roader, like a Jeep or something. Is it something I would have on a Regera? Actually, kind of yes, because even in street spec, this color does look really cool. And so I would say, yeah, just for the sheer point of being different, hell yeah, paint your car whatever color you want, or wrap it, or I won't say plasti dip it, because I did that a few years ago, and it ended in... well, it ended in hours of peeling the plasti dip off, cussing, and questioning why the hell I would ever do something like that in the first place. So, I don't really recommend plasti dip, but, anyways, back to the Regera. I don't know how we got off on that awkward topic of plasti dip for, like, a tangent or something. But, when you start to use the Regera, especially as an off-road vehicle, you're like, does this actually, like, will this actually work? Like, is this actually going to be a good idea? And for the most part, the whole, single super long gear idea kind of actually works, but at the same time, it's got some disadvantages. Now, the disadvantages are that if you get into the throttle too quickly, you're just going to spin immediately. Now, and you've got no other gear to change into to cure that. So you have to really dial in your throttle control. Now, if you get your throttle control dialed in, you're going to have a lot better luck keeping the thing under control. Now, as far as grip on pavement goes, these rally tires don't do the best job, but they're okay. They're no race tire, but they are definitely better than, say, your average run-of-the-mill street tire. Now, I figured, why not just go to the airport, do some speed runs, and just see how it got up to speed. So, honestly, after testing it, it's not that much slower than it would be on a street tire, at least, on the tarmac, on the runway. It's not that much slower than it would be on a street tire, but honestly, that's not what we're here for. We're here to test and see how it is off-road. Now, after lifting the suspension, I can definitely say that the way it lands and the way it actually kind of rebounds from jumps and then soaks up the way that it leaves a jump and then soaks up the bump afterwards is actually pretty predictable, pretty controllable, and almost makes it a decent kind of maybe king mode, playground game mode type car that you can use off-road. I mean, it handles these jumps very well, bounces off the lip of the jumps, and then, gets some really nice air, and then when it lands, usually will soak it up really, really well and not lose that much speed, which is what you want in a car that you're going to take off-road and going to use for jumps. And this thing, like I said, it just keeps proving itself to be pretty damn good at that. Now, as long as you don't land sideways and spin out, you're fine. So I landed sideways and spun out, and it didn't really work all that well, but I would say for something that's fast that you can use off-road, that's still, keep in mind, still a rear-drive car, then I would definitely say, you know, give this build a shot. It's weird, it's different, but it's different in a good way. It's not different in such a way that it's different and it just flat-out doesn't work. Because if you're different and you just flat-out doesn't work, then I feel like you've kind of missed the point. But if you make a build that's different and it works and it's got a purpose behind it, then that actually can lend itself a lot better to the environment that you're driving in. Because, I mean, we're holding some decent speed right now. We're well over 100 on this you know, gravel back road, and we come to a corner. As long as you trail brake it in a little bit and then get on the throttle lightly and just power out of the corner, it's very easy to manage. It's very easy to manage and actually kind of lends itself to being a Regera rally car, like a rally car that can do 270 miles an hour. Now, is that realistic? No, definitely not. But on the other hand, do we always have to be? Because I don't think so. This is Forza Horizon after all, and the whole point of Forza Horizon is to do stupidly crazy things, you know? And I think that this car is definitely stupidly crazy, and stupidly crazy in the best way possible. That's the best way I can describe this thing from my point of view, is a crazy car in the best way possible to have a crazy car. Because if you don't have a certain element of crazy, then where's the certain element of fun? I mean, I feel like every car, custom car that has sort of a spark to it, always has just that tiny little bit of crazy or a tiny little bit of something that works so well that it makes it really special. I mean, you can see that from everything from, say, you know, say a turbo Honda Civic. A turbo Honda Civic, a perfect example actually, because at the half-mile runway race that I was at recently, there was a turbo Honda Civic that didn't look all that fast, that trapped in the standing half mile at, I believe, 168 miles an hour, which is ridiculous for any kind of Honda Civic. I don't care what kind of Honda Civic it was. And the thing is, they, you know, all they did was take, you know, the standard wheels and tires off, put some Hoosiers on the front, and the thing freaking flew. So I think there's certain things like, or take something like a Jeep. Take something like a Jeep Cherokee that you put some crazy suspension on and take off-road and go rock crawling or jumping. And it's like, well, it may not have been super special when you started, but at the end of the day, it became something insane. Now, whereas with this, it's something insane already, and to make it more insane and have it not be just, you know, just not work is one thing, but to have it be something that's crazy in the first place and then make it even crazier, that's something else. And I feel like we did have a little bit of, I think like we had a pretty decent success with this build, because it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely not the most practical build. But if you ever had that fantasy of taking a Koenigsegg Regera off-road and actually having it be effective, this build actually does work for that. So if you guys did enjoy the video and the build, don't forget to slam that like button. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. We'll have more Forza Horizon 3 later tonight. We'll also have daily uploads every single day. Forza Horizon 3, spin tires, and all the newest racing games posted here on the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.